Chapter 90, the fourth one. This chapter is updated by Novels.pl. Huang Yanjun, a beautiful woman with an unapproachable expression on her face, said, "To tell you the truth, it doesn't matter. I assume you've heard of the three she-devils of Western Campus." Zhang Yuochen nodded and said, "A little." Huang Yanjun continued, "Did you know that one of them is a descendant of Liu Oxu?" Surprised by her words, Zhang Yuochen asked, "A descendant of Liu Oxu?" Zhang Yuochen had a lot of admiration for Liu Oxu because he was difficult to defeat in the same realm. It wouldn't have been possible at all had he not practiced the ultimate realm of the Yellow Realm. When she saw the expression on his face, she said with a faint smile, "One she-devil is called Liu Shuihan. She is the seventh generation down from Liu Oxu. She sees him as a role model and is determined to become a strong martial arts warrior as great as her predecessor. I wonder whether she would kill you if she knew you've defeated her predecessor in the same realm." "It's hard to say," he responded. According to Zhang Yuochen, women were unintelligent and difficult to understand. Princess Kai Yao in his previous life, for example, and Lin Ningshan in the present. He still couldn't figure out why they wanted to kill him. "Do you know what the two most intolerable things are for Liu Shuihan?" Huang Yanjun asked. "What?" Zhang Yuochen asked. According to her, first, nobody is a better warrior than Liu Oxu. Second, no one was superior to her. She only got through to the second obstacle of the third floor the first time she went into the Wu Tower. You, however, got to the third obstacle of the same floor. If she ever finds out, she will surely challenge you to a duel. But your present cultivation is far from hers. One attack from her could kill you 10 times over." Although what Huang Yanjun said seemed to be true, Zhang Yuochen was not at all afraid. "I hardly think she would dare to kill me in the martial markets school," he said. "Well." She smiled, blinked her eyes and said, "Ninth Prince, do you think that devil is just a random title? Liu Shuihan has the power to kill you without anyone noticing. Even the presbyters of the martial markets school would not be able to find your body. You have spent a lot of time persuading me to give up, but neither of you have answered my question. You don't even know me. Why do you care so much about my life? Or do you want to stop me from breaking into the fourth floor of the Wu Tower?" He replied. Both Huang Yanjun and Duan Muxingling felt awkward. It was their first time talking to such a tactless freshman of Western Campus. If only they weren't in the Wu Tower, then they would break his legs to show him how powerful devils really were. The expressions on their faces showed Zhang Yuochen that he had guessed correctly. They did want to stop him from breaking into the fourth floor of Wu Tower. Both of them were Division Profound warriors who were very powerful on Western Campus. Even if they weren't devils, their power was almost equal to that of the three devils. It was not easy for Zhang Yuochen to take control over of the situation due to the fact that their cultivation was much more powerful than his. "Actually, I might fail to pass through to the fourth floor," Zhang Yuochen said. Huang Yanjun nodded slightly and smiled, implying that Zhang Yuochen was very perceptive. "But you have to meet my demands," Zhang Yuochen added suddenly. The smile on Huang Yanjun's face disappeared instantly. How dare this freshman negotiate with her? It seemed that the only means of teaching him the meaning of the word devil was to punch him very hard. Although he sensed that something was wrong, Zhang Yuochen remained confident and said, "Please allow me to continue to the fourth floor if you have no intention of meeting my demands." Duan Muxingling whispered, "Sister Chen, we cannot break the law of the school in the Wu Tower. We can teach him a lesson when we get out of here. Let's hear him out. If it is a reasonable demand, why not give it to him?" Huang Yanjun withdrew her power with a sneer and said, "Go ahead." "What's your demand?" Zhang Yuochen seemed to predict their compromise and said, "It is well known that I am the ninth prince of Yunwu Commandery, which has always been the rival of Square Commandery. The power of Square Commandery in the school of the martial market is relatively strong. Their warriors will attempt to attack me considering my status. Thus, my demand is that you two save me if I'm in danger." Duan Muxingling giggled and said, "You're so cute." Although the power of Square Commandery is indeed strong in Western Campus, they still need to take us seriously. Rest assured, Ninth Prince. From now on, you just need to say my name, and no one will dare attack you. So you accept my demand? Zhang Yuochen asked. "It's a piece of cake," Huang Yanchen said in a cold voice. If others besides warriors of the square decide to cause me trouble? Zhang Yuochen continued. Juan Mook Singling laughed and said, anyone who wants to trouble you in Western Campus will be driven away by us. Zhang Yuochen let out a slight sigh of relief when they agreed. He wasn't so much worried about the square commander's warriors, but he did need to defend himself against killers from the Hades department. Since Ziqian had failed to kill him, more terrible killers from the Hades department would be sent to assassinate him. With his present cultivation, his recklessness was likely get himself killed. Now that Huang Yanchen and Duan Mook Singling had promised to protect him, he felt much safer from the assassination attempts of the Hades department. Zhang Yuochen hadn't intended to get to the 4th floor of the Wu Tower anyway. Now he had the bonus of getting a promise from 2 Division Profound Warriors. Zhang Yuochen had another question. When I was on the 1st floor of the Wu Tower, I defeated Liu Xu at the mid-stage of the Black Realm. Doing so meant that I would become the guard instead of Liu Xu, testing warriors in that realm's stage. Once I become the guard, the devil Liu Shuihan will know I have defeated her ancestor. What should I do when she finds out? Huang Yanjin answered. The Wu Tower is a genuine martial arm without wisdom. If you want to be the guard and test warriors in the mid-stage of the Black Realm, you must draw inscriptions of your power, speed, and martial technique. Only then can your spiritual body be formed in the Wu Tower. How many people know that I have defeated Liu Xu in the same realm? Only the 3 of us. Huang Yanjin replied. That means that if you don't tell the presbyter I have defeated Liu Xu, he will still be the guard of the Wu Tower? He asked. That's right, Huang Yanjin answered. Zhang Yuochen murmured. The presbyter would let 2 students guard the tower on such an important reception day? He seems unreliable. Huang Yanchen heard what he said and sneered. The presbyter of the Wu Tower is a normal person, who wants to spend more time practicing and trying to break through to a higher realm. He is delighted to have someone else guard the Wu Tower. Besides, the Wu Tower is able to record each warrior, so it doesn't matter if there is a guard here or not. That explains that. Can you tell me your name? Zhang Yuochen asked. Huang Yanjin. She responded indifferently. He remembered the names of Huang Yanchen and Duan Mook Singling. Then he leisurely walked towards the exit of the Wu Tower. Duan Mook Singling let out a long sigh of relief after he left and said, it was very difficult dealing with him. Huang Yanchen gave a sweet smile and said, let's give him a lesson in Dragon Martial Temple later. A freshman dares to negotiate with me. Let's see how strong he really is. 9 presbyters and many young warriors had been waiting for a long time outside the Wu Tower. They did not, however, see Zhang Yuochen come out. Why is he still in the tower? Could he have gotten through the first barrier of the 3rd floor? How? Maybe he died in the tower. A square commandery warrior sneered. Prince Huoxing smiled and said, the Wu Tower is indeed full of dangers. I wouldn't be surprised if he died in there. Ziqian, Eldexe, and the Yunwu commandery warriors were starting to get anxious. They thought maybe he had had an accident. Chica. Zhang Yuochen suddenly walked out of the Wu Tower. He was not only alive but wasn't injured at all. A smile appeared on Eldex's face. He immediately walked to him and asked, how many levels have you broken through? Zhang Yuochen. The 2nd obstacle of the 3rd floor. He responded. It doesn't matter. After all, you have only just reached the mid-stage of the Black Realm. Wait a second. What did you say? You got past the 2nd barrier on the 3rd floor. Eldexe was stunned. He had bloodshot eyes and goosebumps all over his body. The other 8 presbyters were all stunned as well. In the history of Western Campus, only 3 people had successfully passed the 2nd obstacle of the 3rd floor on their first attempt in the Wu Tower. Could Zhang Yuochen be the 4th? Elder Situ was annoyed and said in a muffled voice, Zhang Yuochen, you should never lie to the 9 presbyters. Do you know the consequences of lying? Zhang Yuochen didn't care. I don't understand why getting past the 2nd obstacle of the 3rd floor is such a big deal. Elder Situ was really angry. A junior in the mid-stage of the Black Realm told him that getting past the 2nd obstacle was not such a big deal. Doesn't he realize that he is making everyone uncomfortable? It was well known that Elder Situ had passed the 2nd obstacle of the 3rd floor on his first attempt. Elder Situ still didn't believe it and said, I need to take a look at the record of Zhang Yuochen's grades in the Wu Tower. I propose to open the mirror of the spiritual chi in the 3rd floor of the Wu Tower.